Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're looking at an herb you probably have in your kitchen cabinet right now, oregano, but we're not really talking about the stuff you sprinkle on pizza. Nope. We're diving into its super concentrated form, oil of oregano, as a supplement,
Yeah,
specifically the Carlyle brand. And the big question we're asking for you today is this stuff actually a powerful immune booster, a key to digestive health?
yeah.
Or maybe just expensive seasoning. So our mission here is pretty straightforward. We want to cut through some of the hype around Carlyle Oil of Oregano. We've looked at reviews like from the Savage Reviews YouTube channel and other info, and we're going to pull out the key pieces for you, give you a clear, balanced picture of what it promises versus, the reality.
Exactly. And what I find really interesting here is this intersection, between traditional herbal knowledge, oregano's been used for ages, and modern science trying to figure out why. We're going to explore that balance. When does the old wisdom actually line up with the lab results? And when should we maybe take a closer look? It's about getting to the core of it.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because Carlyle makes some pretty big claims. They talk about packing the power of Mediterranean herbs into tiny capsules. That sounds impressive. And they're hitting three main areas: immune support, helping your digestion, and acting as an antimicrobial shield. It sounds like a natural powerhouse, right?
Right. And it's crucial to understand, like you said, this isn't the culinary herb itself. When we talk about the oil, especially concentrated like this, we're really focusing on one key active compound. It's called carvacrol. That's the main player here.
Carvacrol.
Yeah. And scientists have looked into this quite a bit. What they've found, mostly in lab settings, is pretty interesting. Carvacrol can disrupt bacterial growth. It shows broad-spectrum activity against different kinds of pathogens. There's even some research suggesting it might interfere with how viruses fuse with cells.
So there is some science behind the antimicrobial idea.
There is, absolutely. And this is a big but, we always need to remember the context. These are often lab studies. Isolated compounds, test tubes. It's not exactly the same as what happens inside a human body.
Right, that lab versus life thing you mentioned. That's a really important difference. So focusing on the product itself then. If Carvacrol is the key, how does a company like Carlyle make sure you're actually getting it consistently? I mean, you hear about supplements varying a lot. Carlyle mentions packaging it in soft gels using Mediterranean and wild oregano. They offer drops and capsules too.
Yeah, you hit on a really critical point there. Consistency. And that brings us to standardization. You see, the actual potency of oregano oil can be all over the place. It depends on the plant species, where it grew, how they extracted the oil.
Okay.
So what Carlyle apparently does, according to our source, is standardize their formula. They aim to provide a specific, consistent amount of carvacrol in each serving. And that's huge, because it means you're supposed to get a predictable dose each time, not just guesswork. Plus, they say they test their herbs for quality, which adds another layer of potential reliability.
Okay, so standardization aims for consistency in the bottle. But what about once it, gets inside you? Does everyone react the same way, even to a standardized dose?
That's a great question. And, no, not necessarily. Standardization guarantees what's in the pill or the drop. That's the input. But our bodies, our gut microbiomes, our metabolism, that's where the variability comes in. We're all different ecosystems inside.
Ah, right.
So how your specific system absorbs and uses that carvacrol can definitely vary from person to person. It's a crucial step beyond just what's printed on the label. That whole lab-to-life translation again.
That makes total sense, the individual factor. So moving away from the chemistry and the production for a second, let's talk about real people. How are folks actually using this Carlyle oil? What are they saying? The Savage Reviews source paints what it calls an interesting picture. Lots of people seem to reach for it when they feel like they're coming down with something, seasonal stuff. They report benefits for sinus problems or making their digestion feel better. And apparently some even try it on their skin for fungal things, though it sounds like that's more hit or miss.
Yeah, and what's fascinating there is how proactive some users seem to be. It's not just popping a pill and hoping for the best. Some users specifically mention taking breaks from it, cycling on and off.
Ooh, why would they do that?
Well, think about what we said earlier. Oregano oil, or carvacrol, is antimicrobial. It fights microbes. But it's not particularly picky. It's non-discriminatory, as the source puts it. So it might knock back the bad bacteria, but it could potentially affect the good bacteria in your gut too.
Ah, okay, so the breaks are to let the good guys recover.
Exactly. It's like they're trying to manage their own microbiome, giving it a chance to rebalance. And you also see users mentioning that they pair it with probiotics, taking steps to actively support that healthy gut flora. It shows a pretty sophisticated understanding, actually. They're using a potent tool, but carefully.
That is smart, managing the tool, not just using it blindly. Okay, but this brings us to what you call the core complication. And this feels really important. We've got the lab studies showing potential, we've got users reporting some positive things. But there's this gap, right? This leap from a controlled lab finding to a reliable benefit in a complex human being. It's not always a straight line.
Precisely. That lab-to-life gap is absolutely critical to understand with supplements like this. Carvacrol might look fantastic fighting off bugs in a petri dish under perfect conditions, but the human body, it's messy, dynamic. Your digestive system breaks things down, your metabolism changes things. It interacts with everything else you're eating and doing.
It's not a sterile environment.
Not at all. So while those antimicrobial properties are real in a lab context, how they translate inside you is less certain. And again, that non-discriminatory action is key. In your gut, it could disrupt the balance, affecting beneficial bacteria along with the ones you want to target. That's why those user strategies, the breaks, the probiotics, make so much sense. They're real-world adjustments to a scientific reality. Promise in the lab doesn't automatically equal perfect performance in life.
That's such a crucial point. Potential is there, but you need context and maybe some strategy. So let's bring it back to the listener. What does all this mean for you? We've got promising science, but also these real-world caveats, digestion, non-specific action. So who might actually find Carlyle Oil of Oregano useful? It doesn't sound like it's for everyone all the time.
No, probably not a daily just because supplement for most. But for someone who deals with, say, recurring digestive upsets they're trying to manage, or someone looking for extra support during those times when everyone seems to be getting sick. For those kinds of targeted uses, Carlyle offers an option that is at least standardized and quality tested. That counts for something.
And the sourcing. They mentioned Mediterranean and wild harvest.
Right, that's positioned as a quality marker too, suggesting they're using a specific type of oregano known for higher carvacrol content. So the takeaway isn't this cures everything. It's more like for specific, perhaps intermittent issues, and importantly, if you go in understanding how it works, including the potential impact on good bacteria, it could be a tool in the toolbox. The standardization gives you a fighting chance at consistency, which is better than just grabbing any random bottle. It's about strategic, informed use.
Okay, that really helps clarify things. We've kind of journeyed through Carlyle Oil of Oregano today. From those bold promises about immunity and digestion down to the science of carvacrol. We looked at why standardization and good sourcing matter. And we heard how real people are using it, sometimes pretty smartly, like with breaks or probiotics. And we really grappled with that key idea, the difference between what happens in a lab test and what happens in your actual body, that lab-to-life reality check. It definitely underscores how important it is to understand both the potential and the practical side of any supplement before you jump in.
Absolutely. And this whole discussion, I think, really brings up a bigger question, doesn't it? It's something relevant to so many natural products out there. How do we, as consumers, best navigate this world? How do we balance exciting lab data with the complex, messy reality of our own individual biology and health needs?
That's a great question to leave people with. It's about being informed, being critical in a good way, and thinking about the whole picture.
Context is everything.
Well, we hope this deep dive gave you some useful context and tools for your own thinking. Thanks so much for joining us today. Until next time, keep asking questions and stay curious.